40. What is the maximum height to which a motor having a power rating of 20.4 watts can lift a 5 kilogram stone vertically in 10 seconds? Okay, so what do we know? We know we have a motor lifting a stone, and that the power rating of the motor is 20.4 watts. And the mass of the stone that we're lifting is 5 kilograms. And the time that it's going to be lifted in is 10 seconds. So what is power? If you look at your equation sheet, you will find that power is work divided by time. And work is a force over a distance, right? So force times distance over time. So in our case, we know the power, and we want to know the distance, right? We want to know how high it gets lifted. We know the time, and now let's think about the force. The force that actually has to be overcome to lift this thing up is the weight of the stone, right? So this W is for weight, whereas this W is for work. And the weight is given by mg, the mass times the acceleration due to gravity. So we know the mass, and we always know the acceleration due to gravity is 9.81. So that means we can define this force and say that that's known too. So if we know the power, the force, and the time, we can find the distance that it's being lifted. So let's solve this equation for distance. So we're going to multiply by time on both sides and then divide by mg. So distance equals power times time divided by F, which is really mg. So divided by mg. Okay, and the power is 20.4 watts. And the time is 10 seconds. And that's being divided by a mass of 5 kilograms. And also by the acceleration due to gravity, which is 9.81 meters per second squared. And let's plug that into the calculator. We have 20.4 times 10 divided by 5 and also divided by 9.81. Okay, so that's 4.15. We'll say 4.16. And what are the units? The units are, we have watts times seconds. So what is a watt? A watt is a joule per second, right? So that's times seconds. So the seconds is going to go away, and we'll just be left with joules in the numerator. And then the denominator is kilogram meters per second. Well, kilogram meters per second altogether is a newton. So now we have joules over newtons. Joules over newtons. But what is a joule? A joule is a newton meter, right? So a newton times a meter over a newton. Newton goes away, and you're just left with meters. And that's what we wanted. We wanted a distance, and that distance was to be a height. So height might be measured in meters. That makes a lot of sense. 4.16 meters is how high this motor can lift the stone.